You guys ready for a brand new Warframe? Because Jade Shadows is coming to Warframe with a brand new Warframe called Jade. You know, Jade Shadows. In any case, she was initially called Coral or Chorus or Cora or something choiry because the whole thematic of Jade is an angelic seraphim kind of Warframe. Now, we don't really have that in Warframe, not by default anyway. We do have our fantastic fashion frames. Regardless of that, Jade Shadows will be telling the story of the Stalker. It's gonna be a 30-minute-ish cinematic quest according to Rebecca Ford. So I'm thinking maybe something to the whole, you know, below, the cold below, the when we got the finger, Sevagop, that's it. When we got Sevagop and the Epitaph, you guys remember that quest? I'm thinking something like that. And you know what? Awesome, I can't wait to play the quest. Because if it's one thing he does well, most of the time, that is cinematic quest, and I can't wait to find out more about the Stalker. This guy has been in our gameplay experience since forever. I remember being a young Tenno, just spawning into a mission, something flashed, and then I died, and then I got a bow. Nobody really explained much of anything, they just said Stalker in the chat. I understood nothing. Fast forward a couple of years and the Stalker is basically unchanged for the most part. Now granted, we do have the Shadow Stalker, but that one is about as menacing as the normal one. Regardless of that, once upon a time, those weapons were really something. The dread, the hate, and the despair. Except the despair, really, because if you think about it, thrown weapons in Warframe have been pretty garbage for the last 6 or 7 years. And so there's that. Regardless, they all got an Incarnate Genesis adapter, which took them to, I don't know if I'm gonna be playing with these, to the Dread being one of the best bows in the game, rivaling the Paris Prime, Incarnate version, of course. And the Hate actually fires a projectile, and it's a melee weapon I bear to press E with. Does that make any sense? You wanna see the full guides? Of course you wanna see the full guides. These are important weapons for the meta. Kappa. Look at the cards right now. As for the Despair, well, it does this whole dive bombing thing, and you'll find a guide for that one as well. It is cool, but the problem with that one is that the charge isn't overly fantastic. Why am I telling you all this? That what does this have to do with Jade? Ha! Basically, Jade has the counter weapons to this. She'll have a bow, a sight, and a throwing weapon, but the complete opposite in terms of thematic. If the Stalker is dark, edgy, then Jade is radiant, luminant, suave, and angelic. Don't look at me like that, I'm trying to find ways to describe this bloody... Anyway, Evensong will be the name of her bow. This is gonna be the anti-Dread, and I love the Dread. For the longest while, it has been my favorite traditional style bow. Now it has an Incarnate Genesis adapter, and it hits a whole lot harder. And hopefully, the Evensong bow will not be completely worthless to the meta, and this is technically the only one that has a real chance at it. Because if you take a look at secondary weapons today, what do we use them for? Primers? Some of them hit really hard as damage weapons. 5, maybe 6 of them or so, but some of them, let me rephrase that, most of them are basically mastery fodder, especially when it comes to secondary throwing weapons. So the Cantare, her secondary thrown weapon, well, what it looks really cool and all whatnot, I don't really have a whole lot of hope for it. As for melee, you guys know what's up with melee, just like a madman, because apparently auto melee is still bugged, or did they fix it? I don't know, but anyway, it's and I don't really care about that. Tell you one thing though, the design on the weapon looks beautiful. It also opens up, it has like an open up thing, like, so here you go. The anti-hate will be the Harmony sight. Oh, and they're also getting a brand new ship skin. I got you. See what I did there? I made you believe it's a ship, but it's a... Yeah, I'm sorry about that. D did it first. We don't like to have the rug being pulled from underneath us. Regardless of that, this is gonna be a universal ship skin. It's called the Terror. It represents the Stalker. It's edgy, it's dark, it's red stuff. And since it's a skin, you're not gonna have any support charge, any brand new support abilities. Oh, there you go. And that's pretty much gonna do it. Let's recap. What are we getting with Jade Shadows? First off, a brand new Warframe by the name of Jade. She's an angelic seraphim-like Warframe, and she plays like a support, debuffing enemies and buffing allies. She's got 3 signature weapons. First off, primary Evensong Bow, secondary thrown weapon Cantare, and her third weapon is gonna be a melee sight by the name of Harmony. Apparently, each of these weapons will be giving you a buff if you do something specific, and if they come together, you're gonna be getting yourself a greater buff, according to Pablo, which is really interesting because the Stalker weapons have something similar if you take a look at their incarnations. So that's really interesting to see if these will actually be worth using on the same loadout. Now, of course, she's also going to be coming with a quest, a 30-minute cinematic quest where we get to learn more about the Stalker, the infamous Stalker. Now, this is not a whole play as the Stalker game mode. From what I understood, we're going to be getting more info on that at TennoCon 2024. Outside of that, we're also going to be getting a bunch of quality of life updates. Not only that, they're also going to be messing around with enemy armor, which is somewhat of a buff to corrosive if you think about it. They also want to change around faction damage types. Essentially, right now, what you gotta do in Warframe to understand what the hell is happening with damage is know your target. What kind of armor and what kind of health does that enemy have? Better said, what kind of surface are you hitting and with what elements? It gets a little bit funky at times. So essentially what they want to do is simplify this whole process. Essentially, XYZ element does more damage or less damage to XYZ faction, instead of you having to know that X enemy has ferrite armor and the other guy has alloy armor, which is not the same and is more vulnerable to radiation instead of corrosive. You get what I'm getting with this. This should be theoretically a great simplification that will help out more newer Tenno and even Tenno that still didn't understand exactly how everything works in Warframe. So thumbs up for that.
Operation Belly of the Beast is a clan operation coming after the Jade Shadows update. So the update will come out. We'll have this operation live the same day, TBD on exact times, but this is going to give you an opportunity to get a little bit more narrative out of the update, as well as some cool rewards. We are bringing a new Eximust unit to the Jade Shadows update, and Operation Belly of the Beast will have you facing off against too many of them.
Also in the operation is a new game mode that we're working on. Again,
Yes.
we'll talk more about it in the May dev stream and show you what we're calling the Ascension game mode. Protea Blazing Artillery augment.
Oh my god.
Korvex Containment Wall augment, Dagoth Grave Spirit augment, and Sevagoth So augment.
That's it. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are you most excited for? Weapons and warframes fall in and out of grace and in and out of the meta depending on what the developer chooses to do. And I know what you're gonna say, hold on there dude, there are evergreen weapons and there are evergreen warframes. A good example of that would be Saturn. She's been the queen of AoE for the last 7 years or so. But to finally find out what happened to the Stalker, why does he feel the need to consistently hound my missions for the last 7 years or so? Why does he consistently suicide against me and my friends? That's what I want to find out. And I know what you're going to be saying, hold on there Lazar, he used to be a whole lot more threatening. Yes, that's the Stalker I choose to remember, the one that you pooed your pants when you got the flash. Nowadays you can just Thanos him, and that to me is a crying shame. As always, my name has been Lazar, thank you guys so much for watching, like, favorite channel, subscribe only if you enjoy the content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, jump over on Twitch and subscribe and follow and things so I can get more of you, you can get entertainment. Yeah.